Well, hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It's great to be with you. It is, yes, Saturday, which means we're on a brand new master topic. That's right. It's January 18, 2025, everyone. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. If you need to go get something like a glass of water or maybe some fruit or something sweet, or anything else in the kitchen that you would like to partake in while you're watching or listening to the show, go ahead and do that and hurry on back. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you guys know what the master topic is for this week. You know, we do this. The first show has the master topic, which is the topic of the show, and kind of gives us a rundown of what we're going to have. So that's the topic for this show. It's mastering the art of resourcefulness, unlocking creative solutions. We're on series 4, which means we're in the 4th year. Show 4, episode number 1. Welcome, everyone, to Inspirations for Your Life, hosted by myself, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, podcast coach, and podcast host. I am a motivational leader, and this podcast is your key to unlocking powerful insights and practical strategies for personal, professional growth to empower your life. Whether you're striving, ladies and gentlemen, to elevate your leadership game, spark creativity, or overcome challenges, you're in the right place. It's tonight or today's episode, depending on when you're watching. We're going to dive deep together into the transformative concept of embracing a solution-oriented mindset, a skill that can shift how you approach problems, seize opportunities, and inspire others. So grab your favorite drink, tune in, and let's embark on this journey together. All right, everyone? So the first point is focus on possibilities, not limitations. People that actually make the choice to focus on possibilities find their life is easier and that they get through their challenges a lot faster. All right, so when faced with challenges, it's easy to get bogged down by what isn't working. A solution-oriented approach and mindset starts with shifting your focus to possibilities. Instead of dwelling on roadblocks, ask yourself this question: what can I do to move forward? By adopting a perspective that highlights potential paths, you unlock creativity and open the door to innovative solutions. Remember, every limitation can be reframed as a stepping stone to something greater. And I think that's important to know. I want to say that again. Every limitation can be reframed as a stepping stone to something greater. Okay. So that's important to know. It's like that lesson. On the other side of the lesson is the success and is all the joy, the peace, and the rewards, right? Number 2, approach problems with a can-do attitude. I learned this a long time ago. The can-do attitude, and the can-do attitude. It's been around for a while. It's been on for a very, very long time, but it's called the can-do attitude. And so the whole concept is that if we believe we can, very similar to Henry Ford, right? If we can, we're right. If we can't, we're also right. So the can-do attitude is the cornerstone of being resourceful. When challenges arise, instead of saying, I can't, ask, how can I? This subtle shift in language rewires your brain to look at the opportunities instead of the excuses. Because many people look at excuses, right? And they don't really get things done because they procrastinate. They spend more time creating excuses than they do actually solving the challenge. Adopting this attitude not only will boost and empower your confidence, but also inspire those around you to tackle obstacles with determination and optimism. Now, the thing is, this isn't something that you're going to learn overnight. So I want to tell you that right now. All right. So if you're saying to myself, hey, I don't know how I'm going to do this, you can do it. Okay. But it starts with the mindset and the belief. If you've got the belief, all right, everything else will fall into place. All right. The right directions will show up to guide you. And I think that's a really important thing to understand. And so I want to let you know that this is powerful, ladies and gentlemen. This is really, really powerful. All right. So try it out. I think you will be very amazed with the results. All right. Number three, break challenges into manageable steps or chunks. Some people would call it chunking, right? So big problems or big challenges can feel so overwhelming, like a big mountain that you can't climb. But if we choose to break them down into smaller, actionable steps, it makes them less daunting. This approach allows you to tackle one piece at a time, building a momentum slowly as you progress. And each step complete is a win, reinforcing your sense of achievement and making the ultimate goal feel attainable. So we progress forward because of the feelings we have. We get stopped in our way because of what other people say or because of just some bad experience we might have had. I want to just share a story with you. And this is a story about there was this elephant. Now, you all remember elephant. So, elephant has been around for a long time. Elephant, it was elephant disc. I remember, maybe you may not remember elephant disc. It's called elephant memory systems. And I still remember to this day, I mean, this was a long time ago. You had an elephant, okay, and then it was on a yellow box. It was a red circle. It said elephant. You had the elephant in the center, and then on the bottom, basically in the circle, it said memory systems. So elephants, this is why they did this. Elephants never forget. People have said this for a while. Is it true? Do elephants really have steel trap memories? They don't have the greatest eyesight in the animal kingdom, but they never forget a face. And so that's enough power for us to know that elephants will remember forever. Actually, an apple 2E. Okay. Now you might wonder, well, when did elephant memory systems start? Well, probably way before I was born. But they were producing discs. Well, it looks like they were producing discs in the 1980s. I was around when I was born way before that. But the thing is, a lot of people didn't realize, this whole thing. And so when I first, got a disc and I said, gee, what is an elephant memory system, right? So when was elephant memory systems, it was kind of comical. But I always would buy the elephant, and I would buy the Memorex, or I'd buy other ones. But the elephant was always like one of my favorite makers of floppy disks. They also had changed to the white envelope where they put lines on it and they'd have their logo on it. So they didn't have the yellow background all the time. But I thought that was really cool to understand. But again, they were the leading provider in the 1980s. They got their name from the idea that an elephant never forgets, which is a perfect way to promote memory. Also, a perfect way to make a memorable brand. It works on so many levels. Leading Edge filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, unfortunately, in 1989 and was acquired by Daewoo shortly thereafter. So, floppy disks are really not around anymore. And Daewoo is a defunct South Korean conglomerate right now. So they're really not doing much of anything. But I want to share the story with you because there was this elephant, all right? And it was, let's say, in the yard. And this elephant was tied up when it was a really small elephant, a baby elephant. What are we? I'm trying to remember now. What are we? What do we call a baby elephant? This baby elephant. It's a yeah. It's a I'm trying to remember what they call the baby elephant with the tusks and whatnot. Baby elephants can't jump, by the way, just so you know. But baby elephants are only around 200, 300 pounds when they're born. And I don't know if you knew this, but the young elephants are called now. I remember now it's called calves, calves, like calves on your leg. Elephants lose their tusks much like human babies lose their first set of baby teeth. Baby elephants, as I said, cannot jump. Newborn elephants soothe themselves by sucking their trunks. Um, Little built-in thing for them. Baby elephants are called calves, and they weigh around 200 300 pounds when they are born. Very cute. It takes elephants nearly 2 years to give birth. That's a very, very long time. Baby elephants have to learn how to use their trunks very quickly, and baby elephants lose their baby tusk. Okay. Most elephants are born at night. Elephants are born blind. All right. Elephants are born blind, and by the time they're born, their eyesight is not developed. Even as adults, elephants are not well known for their eyesight, but as babies, they are nearly blind. Adult elephants cover their babies in sand to protect them from the sun. Newborn elephants have nearly fully developed brains. So, what I want to share with you is there's this baby elephant, okay, this calf, and the baby elephant was tied to a stake. All right. And this is when the baby elephant was just born. So just right after it was born. And so, the baby elephant can't break from the stake, obviously. The stake is, holding the elephant in. So maybe, a few days later, the elephant tries again. A few months later, tries again. Year later, tries again. Well, eventually it tries, but then after about a year or two, it gives up and it just doesn't try anymore. And if you were to go back and see that elephant several years later, right? Um, let's say 10 years later, and it's this huge elephant, and you see it just tied to this really small stake with this rope or chain, and you're like, well, this elephant could obviously break free of the chain. Yes, it could. But it has been programmed in its mind because it's given up, because it's tried so many times. It doesn't know that it has new capability. I'll give you another quick example. When you're in school, whether it's grammar school or whether it's college, and so when we go there, there's a lot on our mind, right? And, getting used to the whole thing of being away from home and, learning how to manage things yourself. It's a big responsibility. And so that fact of feeling overwhelmed really hits us. And so when you're there, then you have to learn on top of all this, right? This is why a lot of times people will not go to get their master's or PhD for a few years later because they have to go into the world and really understand how to learn. College doesn't teach you how to learn. Okay, I should say undergraduate. It teaches you, it more or less teaches you how to learn. It doesn't teach you about the subject. It teaches you the skills so you can go apply. It doesn't teach you how to be an expert in that subject. This is the thing I want to share with you. That's what your master's or PhD does. So use obstacles as opportunities for growth. Every challenge you face has the potential to teach you something valuable, like with this elephant. If the elephant would just have tried just one more time, the elephant would see that it is mightier and stronger than that little tiny chain or rope and that stake. The foot could have crushed the stake. Now you're probably asking me, so how heavy is an elephant's foot? Well, I wouldn't want to be under an elephant's foot. I will tell you that. The average elephant's foot is 15 to 19 inches in width. But the question I want to know is, how heavy is an elephant's foot? Well, if we know it's that big, okay, we know it's massive, right? The elephant's foot is a massive black corium with many layers resembling tree bark and glass. It is pretty amazing, when you think about this, but we're talking about elephant's foot, which is resembling the tree bark. That's not the real elephant because they call that elephant's foot, but that's not the same thing. All right. So when we think about an elephant's foot, you're talking a lot of poundage. I mean, an elephant's foot could crush you. Um, and so, not that they would do this on purpose, but it was common more than 4,000 years ago that a lot of people in Asia got killed uh, basically by elephants. Um, Elephants are highly protective of their young and their herd, and if they feel their calves or group members are in danger, they may become defensive and aggressive towards perceived threats. Can humans survive a stomp? Surviving being stepped on by an elephant is highly unlikely, as elephants are incredibly heavy animals and can exert tremendous amounts of pressure with their feet. Their force of the elephant step could easily cause severe injuries or even be fatal to humans. So I think when we understand that elephants are very powerful, okay, there is one thing, though, that elephants are afraid of. They're afraid of bees, okay? The largest animal on the land is so terrified of a tiny insect that it will flap its ears, stir up dust, and make noises when it hears the buzz of a beehive. Of course, a bee stinger can penetrate the thick hide of an elephant, and so it's not really good to do that. Elephants are afraid of mice. That's pretty interesting. Theories about this are that elephants are afraid of mice because the tiny creatures nibble on their feet or can climb up into their trunks. However, there's no evidence to back this up. This is just some speak that was put out there. Execution by elephant was a method of capital punishment in South and Southeast Asia. So that was actually a method of killing people in Asia. So these elephants are very, very dangerous. Elephants are able to recognize basically the voice. And if the voice belongs to a person who is more likely to pose a threat, the elephants switch into defensive mode. So the elephants get to know who you are. Elephants, people want to know, do you befriend an elephant? So elephants are known to form strong social bonds with other elephants, and they can also form bonds with humans if they're treating them well. Do elephants like to be petted? Well, some elephants really like is that you to pet and pat their tongue. And intertwining trunks with fellow elephants is something they like to do. So elephants are great as long as they know you're going to be docile as well. Number 5, stay proactive in finding alternatives. Even if you don't see a light or even a little tiny, a little minuscule anything, keep staying positive. Being solution-oriented means staying proactive even when the first plan doesn't work. Don't wait for the perfect solution to appear. Explore multiple alternatives and test them. The more adaptable and persistent you are, the higher your chances of finding a path forward are. Remember, the key is to keep moving and not let the setbacks stall your progress. Number 6, avoid dwelling on setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable. They're going to happen. You're going to get bad cards. It happens. But how you respond to them really defines your character and will make all the difference to whether you'll be successful or not. Dwelling on failure only drains your energy and limits your ability to find solutions. Instead, acknowledge what went wrong, learn from it, and move on. This forward-focused approach helps you maintain momentum and keeps you open to new opportunities. Number 7, our last point for the evening. Encourage creative thinking in yourself and others. So creativity, ladies and gentlemen, is the lifeblood of problem solving. Foster an environment where new ideas are welcome and explored. There's so many companies out there that are like this backward thinking model where they don't want to hear from anybody except for the higher ups, which I think is really, really bad, to be honest with you. So whether you're brainstorming alone or you're with a team, encourage outside the box thinking and allow space for trial and error. The more creative energy that you cultivate and put forth, the more solutions you will uncover, often in unexpected ways. We talked about this before, and that is you have to remember to be open to what's going on. If you say, I've got to get something a certain way, but for whatever reason, you decide that, it's not going to work because you don't want this that way. For example, if you're looking to meet your significant other and you're like, I'm not going to meet them at airport, I'm not going to meet them at the coffee shop. I can meet anywhere else. But then if they show up, it's like you're not going to be open to that. This also works in life. Well, I'm not going to be open to an internship if it comes to me from my family member. Well, that's terrible. So, when we think about this very basis for today, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about this whole week, and we're starting with the art of being resourceful. That's what the whole week is about. And so when we think about, mastering the art of resourcefulness and unlocking creativity, this is something that, people have to embrace, because if you unlock creativity, you can get solutions that you never knew existed. See, a lot of times there's solutions right under your feet, but you never bother to look at them. You know why? Because you don't think it's possible. You don't think that this can do anything for you, but you know what? It can. So when you embrace the concept of creativity, I'm going to give you a quick example. So today I was working on something. I was doing some video edits. And while I was doing some video edits, I got this new idea to create something. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's still coming out, but I got this idea to do something that was really cool and no tech company had ever done before. I said, you know what? I'm going to write something about it. I'm going to launch that soon. And then I'm going to put videos out just about that. And no one else is doing it. And I said, wow, that's going to be pretty cool. And the one thing I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, about getting noticed is you got to create content. I'm not going to tell you what kind of content, but you got to create content that is not filler, that is good quality. And so many people I know would take content and they would do like page stuffing, right? They would even take the word and they would hide the word, and then they would just like, take the page, they would put the word maybe 20, 30 times, and then they would make that word basically be white. Well, Google and all the other search engines caught up to that. So, having the right title, having the right SEO title, having the right keywords, having the right description, and making sure that the word is used 3 to 4 times in your article or blog is important. So this idea came at me. I went to breakfast this morning. When I came home, I said, gee, I'm going to finish this video. I'm going to finish another video. And then before I know, I'm like, wait a minute. I bet if I could do something like that, that would be interesting. And people might actually really like it. And so I said, no one's ever done that before. And so I did that. And so that came to me because I was open to a possible new opportunity. Approach your problems with the can-do attitude, right? Believe you can, and you will. If you're having trouble getting there, I'm not there yet, and each day I'm working more and more to get there. I'd rather do it with an and than do a but, so we don't have to say but or object to it. Just, I'm not there yet, and each day I'm working hard to get there, or I'm getting closer each day. I'm not there yet, and each day I find myself getting closer with the inspired actions that I am taking. So now we know a little about that. We know what obstacles are. We know the obstacles are learning stones, right? Stay proactive in finding alternatives. Don't give up. Don't be like elephant memory systems, like the elephant, that if it would have just tried just one more time, it would have been able to break that entire chain of that rope and the stake and just knock it right out of the ground, break it right off. I told you an elephant's foot could crush someone, could obviously damage a stake or a wooden thing in the ground. Absolutely. And, when you get these setbacks, I know that they put you in this, let's say, feeling that's not good. And some people get depressed. They eat a lot. Some people starve themselves. Some people go into social isolation where they don't want to talk to anybody. Nice people go the other way. They spend too much time with other people, or they get involved in other activities. I'm not going to mention what all they are, but they're not good activities, from drinking, etc. And these other types of activities that they really shouldn't be done, especially not in the manner that you're doing them, may be very, let's say, carelessly, because of this feeling you just want to act, right? Or maybe you're doing something that's illegal, which I hope you're not, but maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's what's causing it, right? So you have to understand that it's important to take care of your well being, all right? You might say, gee, John, what's that going to do for me? Well, everything, because your well being is actually what helps the greater picture of you, all right? So if you think of an obstacle right now that maybe is in your way, right? And you don't know how to go around the obstacle, you don't know how to go through the obstacle or over the obstacle or get around it, you can ask yourself a question. Well, I know I'm stopped right now or I'm stuck. What could I do to possibly get around it? And then your brain will start thinking in that way. And when you start thinking, it's a really, really cool thing. But when you've already said to yourself, I can't, you're making it not possible. I'll give you an example. Somebody wants to build a multi-million dollar mansion, but they don't have the money right now. And so they're like, oh, I want to do this, but, I don't have the money, so I can't do it. So as soon as you say to yourself, you can't, then you're saying you don't want it. So you might not have it yet. Each day you're working toward it and you feel your life getting better. I think that's the most important thing. It's the feeling first, and it's manifesting it second. But you have to feel before you can change your life. And remember, you have to start from the inside of your body, because the inside will reflect to the outside. Might take a little bit of time, though. That's what I have to say. It might take you a little bit of time. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening, and I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow. All right, everyone, be well.